Because what are you cheating? Like yourself, your rules, your restrictions? Is that we have to stop dieting. Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dunne. I'm the founder of Dunne, and I'm so excited that you are here. We are going to be talking all things how to eat healthy while still indulging. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know I'm all about the donuts, the delicious burgers, the takeout food, the pizza, the carbs, everything, you name it. But I still love to eat healthy. And so how to eat healthy while still indulging is a topic that I'm talking about all the time, especially with my brand new clients who are trying to figure out what this all looks like. So what I want to start with is I'm going to show you something. Ready? Close your tabs, remove the distractions, because what I'm about to show you, I want you to have a think about how it makes you feel instantly. Like, what are some of the first things that come to mind when I show you this? Ready? 3, 2, 1, here we go. Okay, so in the comments below, what are some words that come up? Maybe it's things like unhealthy. Maybe it's things like cheat meals. Maybe it's things like I'm not allowed Oreos. Maybe it's like delicious, love them. Maybe it's the word vegan. Like, I have no idea. But whatever words come up, drop them in the comments below. And the number one thing that I'm gonna start by talking about with how to eat healthy while still indulging is that we have to stop dieting. And what I mean by this is that as women especially, we are like conditioned to restrict ourselves, restrict calories, over exercise, do all of these things. And our poor bodies, they're like just trying to survive. They're just trying to keep up with us. And you're capable of so much. And so, number one, stop dieting. When we actually remove these labels, or like remove, for example, the words that probably come up when you think about Oreos, when we start to get away from those things. These smell delicious, by the way. There's hardly any left. Don't be deceived by this packet. I've been crushing those. But what I want you to know is like the dieting and the labels and the things that we put inside of our head and the ways that we think about things, this is like one of the hardest parts of indulging, because we view it as bad. We view it as a negative. And so when we actually remove that dieting piece and we start to just eat all of the foods, yes, including the carbs, yes, including the Oreos, including all those delicious things, it becomes easier to actually eat a really well-balanced diet. And I hate that word balance, but what I mean by that is that you're having Oreos, you're having muffins, you're having cupcakes, you're having burgers, like you're having whatever you actually want, but you're also having a ton of the other really good nutrient-dense foods at the same time. So when we actually stop dieting and we just start living and we start eating, I assure you, you're probably thinking, but Lucy, I can't do that. I'm gonna be like out of control. I'm gonna eat everything. And I know it's hard. And so stay tuned right to the end of this video, because my last tip is all about like what you need to do to actually make this work for you. But I know you're probably thinking that, and I'm here to tell you, I know it's scary, but you can do it. You can have those things in your house. You can have those things in your cupboards without going and destroying the whole packet in one night. Because when you're not on a diet, when you're not restricting yourself, all of a sudden, the whole thing becomes easier. Your cravings reduce. You don't feel these strong urges to devour the whole packet because you're not sure when you're going to get them again. And there's a whole series of other things that come with it. And this leads me into my next tip. So number 2 on how to eat healthy while still indulging. It's all about this timing, because what I'm seeing over and over again, and I used to do this, I used to be the queen of Monday to Friday eating really healthy, and then on the weekends handcuffs would come off and I would just go to town on pizzas, the Coke, the cupcakes, the cookies, the ice cream, you name it. I was having it on the weekend because that was my like go time. And so if you've watched any of my previous videos where I talk about my binge eating story, I talk about how hard and difficult and lonely recovery was. But I go into in depth around, binge eating in general. What are the steps towards taking the recovery path and the recovery road and all of those amazing, beautiful, but really hard things. But what I want to focus on here is the timing piece, because this is how you can still eat healthy while indulging and feel like you're having a handle on it. And so when I say timing, I actually mean the day of the week and the time of the day, because what I'm seeing time and time again from clients who start working with me, or like my old self who used to do this all the time, I would never have anything on, say, a Wednesday morning. Like if there were donuts around on a Wednesday morning, those were off limits because I had to save those for the weekend. So maybe I would take it. Maybe I'd pretend that wherever I am that I'm gonna eat that, and I would like stash it away and save it for the weekend, or do whatever strange thing in my head is gonna make this easier or better for me. So what I want you to do, this second tip is all about challenging those timing pieces. And so actually having something in your house and enjoying it on, say, a Wednesday morning or a Tuesday night, or something that's usually outside of when you would typically have foods that you're like saving for the weekend, or that are, you know, you're viewing them as bad, you're viewing them as naughty, you're viewing them as like a cheat, and we'll get into that. But I want you to have these on a time where you would never normally have them, because oh my gosh, it's going to blow your mind at how doing this actually plays into feeling like you can indulge on these delicious foods while still maintaining a really healthy lifestyle. Number 3, cheat meal. Oh my gosh. Okay, so similar to when I like was holding up the Oreos and I was like, what are the words coming to your mind? I want the same thing to happen here. When I say the words cheat meal, what comes up? Put it in the comments. Don't hold back. There's no right or wrong answer. And again, I wish I had this video when I was really struggling, because cheat meals were my jam. I loved them. I was good all week. Boring chicken, gross, dry, plain broccoli and brown rice. That was my jam. That's what I was really good at. And then on the weekend, Saturday night was cheat meal time, and I would go, you know, all out. This cheat meal would turn into a cheat day would turn into a cheat weekend, Monday morning would hit, and then I'm like, oh gosh, I feel so bad, I feel so guilty, I'm gonna clean it up and restrict myself this week to make up for everything I did on the weekend. And so what I'm really encouraging with this third tip, or all around how to stay healthy while still indulging, is actually get rid of this cheat meal, like the whole thing. So we don't say the word cheat meal, we don't talk about having one, we don't look forward to our cheat meal, even if you're not necessarily changing your lifestyle. So let's say you are really struggling and you're Monday to Friday, you're eating, you know, very clean, very controlled, very restricted, and then on the weekend you're having more of an indulgence. For this step to be effective, I don't even need you to completely overhaul your life, because I know it can be scary, and getting rid of that cheat meal. You can still have something indulgent, but what I want you to get rid of, and what I'm encouraging you to move away from, is the word cheat meal. Because what are you cheating? Like yourself? Your rules? Your restrictions? Your habits? What are you cheating? And why is this meal such a cheat? What's wrong with it? So when we start to change this dialogue going on, whether it's internally in our head or the things that we say out loud, incredible things can happen. So no more cheat meals. This one is such a good one, and I'm so excited to be sharing it with you, because I feel like it's something that we are scared of, and it's time to not be so scared of it. And so when we think about indulgences, right, we are thinking probably about something like Oreos, like takeout, or these foods that when we think about unhealthy foods, these images come to mind. And so what I want you to do here is a fun little exercise all around this indulging, all around like the indulgent foods. And so we've talked about macronutrients in previous videos, how to track those. If you haven't watched those, I highly recommend going back and taking a watch. But for this piece, this exercise, what I want you to do is actually just pull out your phone. We are gonna open MyFitnessPal. If you're like, oh my gosh, this is triggering for me, stay with me, because what we're gonna do here, it's gonna come full circle, and I assure you, you're in a good place. I want you to think about maybe something that you view as an indulgent food. So I want you to think about something that maybe you view as something that's not allowed, that you don't think you should be eating. Anything at all. It can be even fruit. You know, fruit is delicious, it's healthy, loaded with nutrients, yet it gets this bad reputation. Or it can be something like the double deep fried burger bro-nut thing that you get on the weekend. Like, I don't care what it is, but what I want you to do is I want you to open MyFitnessPal, and I actually want you to enter in this food and log it so that you can see the nutritional breakdown of it. Because what we're looking at here is often we are so hard on ourselves. We are so mean to ourselves with how we speak. And when we have this indulgence, we then beat ourselves up about it. Maybe not even just that day. Maybe it carries over into the next day, the next week. We're so mad at ourselves. And this must be why results aren't happening, right? Because of that thing that I ate a week ago. It couldn't be further from the truth. And so if you still want to maintain a healthy lifestyle while indulging in foods, it's time to get real about what you are indulging with and how it's actually not that bad, because we make it worse in our head. So enter it in, log it. Even if you're not eating it right now, it's okay. You can go back and delete the entry another time. But what I want you to get in the habit of is like getting real and getting in front of these foods so that you can see that it's actually not that bad. Because 9 times out of 10, sure, there might be the exception where it's like, whew, okay, that's like, you know, it's got more saturated fat than I'm supposed to eat for the whole week or whatever it may be. But for the most part, what we're seeing is that these foods that we're indulging in, they are actually nowhere near as bad as what we are creating them to be in our head. So it's time to just put it in front of us, log it, track it, get real with it, and then keep moving on with your amazing healthy lifestyle with these indulgences happening very regularly. All right, stay with me. I know we're nearly done. We just have 2 more things. So what I want you to think about is when you indulge. And I was having this chat with a client the other day, and she was feeling really bad because she had a bowl of cereal for dinner. And the question that I asked her was, you know, she had a really busy day at work. She was just like exhausted. She'd been working out in the morning, full day of emails, client calls, all that fun stuff. And then by the end of the night, she's just like, you know what, I'm tired, I'm exhausted, I'm just having a bowl of cereal and go to bed. And yet the next day is still beating herself up about it. And so the question that I asked her, and it's a question that I ask a lot of my clients and a lot of people in my life in general, it's like, if your friend came to you and said that, they said, you know what, I was exhausted last night, I had a bowl of cereal for dinner and I went to bed. What would you think about them? What would you say to them? And so this can be really difficult because we're so hard on ourselves, yet we're so loving and caring and kind to everybody else. But if you take nothing else from this video, maybe just for the rest of today, you start talking to yourself like you would your best friend. And I truly believe over time that makes a difference. So that's why it's in this video. That's why when we are trying to eat healthy and have that healthy lifestyle while still indulging, sometimes we just need to speak to ourselves a little bit more nicely, like we would a best friend, and that does go a long way, especially over time. I was promising something big at the end, and I'm not going to keep you hanging. I'm not gonna just forget that I said that, because this is the hard but most amazing part. You can take all or just one of these tips that I've been talking about, and here's where we actually get to apply it and we actually get to see it come true. And so I'll go back to the example of having something like these beautiful Oreos in the house. You're thinking, I can't just eat those on a Wednesday morning. I can't have those in the house if I'm going to eat healthy because I will demolish the whole packet. Trust me, I used to think the exact same thing. And so this is what I want you to do. 1 month is your timeline. I want you to try it for 1 month. I want you to try having these things outside of the times you would normally have them. I want you to stop viewing them as bad. I want you to talk nicely to yourself when you do eat them. But I want you to try these things for 1 month, because that's enough time for your hormones to regulate. That's enough time for your brain to get enough of the signal that it's safe, that it's okay, and that it can live this way. And so it's a very important message that we need to be sending, but we need some time behind us. And so for this to be effective, 1 month is generally speaking for a lot of people enough time to see those changes, to see those results, and to start noticing, wow, this actually is possible for me. I can have Oreos in the house and I don't view them as bad anymore. I can have one and feel satisfied and enjoy it versus having the whole sleeve. And I know that if you're someone that is destroying the whole sleeve, it's hard for you to just believe me. And so that's why I want you to try it for a month. I want you to experiment with it. I want you to give it your best. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. Come back to this video when you need it most. And don't forget that I've created a free trial exactly for this reason, because sometimes you need a bit of help and support and accountability through all of this. So make sure you visit the link, sign up for my free trial. I can't wait to see you on the inside. This is how you eat healthy while still indulging. And so if you liked this video, please give it the thumbs up. Click that little thing that looks like a thumb down below. Make sure you subscribe to my channel if you aren't already. And then it would just mean the world to me if you shared this video with one other person that maybe needs to see it. That is like, wow, I am going to resonate with this message that this wild Australian is sending out to the world. So it would just mean the world to me if we could help spread this message, because hello, life is so much better when we eat Oreos. And as a recovered binge eater, this is something that I never thought I'd be able to do. To have Oreos in the house with a few left, to have them all month and to still be enjoying them because I'm not just completely binging on them. So I want you to know this is all possible. This is how you eat healthy while indulging. And I really hope that this video was helpful for you. I can't wait to see you for another video next week.